All right, let's just say what you're all thinking. How long of a penis can a woman actually take? Yeah, I said it, and you know what? We need to talk about it. Because if we can't ask honest questions about sex, about the human body, about pleasure, then what are we doing? It's 2025, people. It's time we stop being weird about stuff that literally every human is connected to. This isn't about shock value. This is about real answers. And more importantly, this is about clearing up a whole lot of confusion, myths, and frankly, nonsense that's been floating around for decades. So let's dive in. Here's the truth. The average vaginal canal is around 3 to 4 inches long when a woman is not aroused. That's it, but, and this is important, when aroused, the vagina is like a miracle of the human body. It expands, it can lengthen to 6, 7, sometimes even 8 inches depending on the woman. That means yes, the body can adapt. But before anyone starts getting ideas that it's a green light for all things go big or go home, slow down, because bigger does not automatically mean better. In fact, for many women, too much length or depth can cause discomfort, even pain. Pleasure isn't about pushing limits. It's about being in sync, paying attention, and knowing that good sex is way more about communication and connection than it is about measurements. You want to know how much a woman can take? Ask her what makes her feel safe. Ask her what she likes. Ask her if she's even turned on. Because without arousal, the vagina is shorter, tighter, and definitely not ready for anything. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. It's not a challenge, it's a collaboration. And when a woman is emotionally connected, mentally present, and physically aroused, her body opens up literally and metaphorically. But if she's disconnected, uncomfortable, or just trying to get through it, then even the most average size is going to feel like too much. We have to stop asking questions like this, as if sex is a performance, and start treating it like what it really is, a shared experience. Your size doesn't make you good in bed. Your presence does, your curiosity, your patience, your ability to read her cues, your willingness to have a real conversation instead of just assuming what she wants or what she can handle. That's what makes sex good. That's what makes someone feel wanted, respected, and safe. And let me just say this, there's nothing sexier than someone who listens, checks in, and takes their time. So let's stop obsessing over inches and start focusing on intimacy. Because the question isn't really how long can she take, the question is, are you the kind of person who even deserves to find out? Because when a woman is truly turned on, when she feels safe and desired and fully engaged, her body is capable of incredible things. But she's not going to open up for someone who treats sex like a scoreboard. She's going to open up for someone who's patient, who cares, who communicates, and who shows up with empathy, not ego, the bottom line. The body is adaptable, sure, but every woman is different. What one person loves, another might hate, and that's okay. The only way to know is to talk, to ask, to listen. That's where the magic is, not in size. Not in bragging rights, in trust, chemistry, and connection. That's what great sex is built on. So the next time this question comes up, whether it's in a locker room, a podcast, or in your own head, remember this. It's not about what she can take. It's about what you can give. And if what you're bringing to the table is respect, attention, and actual presence, then you're already halfway there. The rest, the body will handle that part just fine. The vagina is a truly remarkable part of the human body, particularly when it comes to its elasticity and adaptability. When not aroused, the average vaginal canal measures between 3 to 4 inches in depth. That's the baseline, but what's often misunderstood, or just completely unknown to many, is how much that changes when a woman is aroused. Arousal isn't just about mental or emotional readiness. It causes real physiological changes in the body. One of those changes is called vaginal tenting, where the upper part of the vaginal canal actually expands and elongates to accommodate penetration more comfortably. During this process, the depth of the vagina can increase to 6 or even 7 inches, and the muscles become more relaxed and lubricated. That means the vagina isn't a fixed-length tube, it's dynamic. It changes based on context, state of arousal, comfort, and even emotional safety. This elasticity exists for a reason. Think about childbirth for a moment. The vagina is capable of stretching enough to allow a baby, often with a head diameter of 10 centimeters or more, to pass through. That alone should tell you that it's not about a rigid limit. However, it's important to understand that elasticity doesn't mean endless comfort or pleasure. Just because the body asterisk can asterisk stretch doesn't mean it asterisk should asterisk be forced to. There's a big difference between what the anatomy is capable of under extreme conditions and what feels good or pleasurable during sex. The body is built to adapt, but it's not built to be treated without care. Arousal is key here. Without arousal, the vaginal canal remains shorter, tighter, and less lubricated. Trying to engage in deep or aggressive penetration in that state isn't just uncomfortable, it can be painful. That's why foreplay, emotional connection, and communication are so important. They're not just romantic gestures or things we do to get in the mood. They are biologically necessary components for the body to prepare itself for pleasurable sex. Lubrication increases, blood flow intensifies, the muscles relax, the walls of the vagina become more flexible. All of that contributes to the body's ability to accept more length or girth comfortably. It's also important to understand that the vagina isn't a straight tunnel. It has angles and curves, and its shape can vary from one person to another. Some women naturally have longer vaginal canals, others may have shorter ones. Some women have more sensitive nerve endings closer to the entrance, others may enjoy deeper pressure. This isn't a one-size-fits-all situation. The vaginal canal also has the ability to hug or conform around what's inserted, whether it's a tampon, a finger, or a penis. The muscular walls contract and expand as needed, creating a snug fit without necessarily needing excessive size to create sensation. The body is incredibly intuitive in this way, but just because it adapts doesn't mean that discomfort should be ignored or pushed through. Pain during penetration is a signal, not a challenge to overcome. If something doesn't feel right, it usually isn't. The body speaks loud and clear when it comes to boundaries, and respecting those signals is part of being a good partner. Size is often overemphasized in conversations about sex, but it's rarely the thing that makes the biggest difference. What matters more is whether the person involved is attentive to their partner's signals, whether they're tuned in to the pace, rhythm, and emotional tone of the moment. There's also a cultural layer to all of this. Myths about size have been perpetuated for generations, especially through porn and media. But the reality is, most discomfort in sexual situations comes not from size, but from lack of preparation, lack of arousal, or lack of communication. The vagina is not fragile. It's strong, responsive, and built to handle a lot. But it requires respect and patience. Just because the body has the capacity to expand doesn't mean it will automatically do so without the right conditions. Arousal isn't a switch you flip. It's a process that involves both mind and body. And when that process is honored, the vagina can accommodate a wide range of activity with comfort and even pleasure. The idea that bigger automatically means better in sex is one of the most persistent and misleading myths in modern culture. It's been fueled by media, pornography, locker room talk, and unrealistic standards that have very little to do with actual human experience or pleasure. The truth is, sexual satisfaction is not determined by size alone. Far from it. In fact, many women report that emotional connection, rhythm, foreplay, and communication are far more important to their experience of pleasure than the length or girth of a penis. This isn't just anecdotal, it's supported by research. Studies have shown that most of the nerve endings responsible for vaginal pleasure are located in the outer third of the vagina, meaning deep penetration is not necessary for stimulation. For some women, deeper penetration can actually be uncomfortable or even painful, especially if the angle or speed isn't right, or if there isn't enough arousal or lubrication. So when people focus entirely on size, they're often missing the entire point of what makes sex satisfying in the first place. Pleasure in sex is multi-dimensional. It's not just physical, it's emotional, mental, psychological, and even spiritual for some people. A larger penis does not guarantee more intimacy, more connection, or more skill. If anything, focusing too much on size can create anxiety, insecurity, and pressure for both partners. Men might feel inadequate if they believe they don't measure up to a perceived ideal, and women might feel pressure to enjoy something that doesn't actually feel good for them. This creates a cycle where everyone's chasing an expectation instead of paying attention to what actually feels right in the moment. Good sex is about attunement, not anatomy. It's about being present, reading your partner's cues, knowing when to slow down, when to pause, when to change things up. None of that has anything to do with how long or thick someone is. It has everything to do with how tuned in they are to the other person. There's also the issue of compatibility. Just like no two people are the same, no two bodies are the same. What feels amazing for one woman might feel overwhelming for another. Some women prefer shallower penetration, some enjoy deep pressure, some prioritize clitoral stimulation over anything internal. There is no universal preference, and trying to fit everyone into one standard based on size is not only misguided, it's counterproductive. A sexual partner who is average in size but highly attentive, responsive, and respectful can be exponentially more satisfying than someone who is larger but careless or disconnected. Emotional intelligence, empathy, and the ability to create a safe and open space are far more influential than any physical trait. When a woman feels safe, seen, and respected, her entire body becomes more receptive to pleasure. That's not an exaggeration, it's biology. The obsession with bigger often ignores another crucial aspect of intimacy, communication. Talking about what feels good, what doesn't, what someone likes or doesn't like. These conversations are the foundation of great sex. And yet, they rarely happen because people are too busy worrying about performance, measurements, and fantasy expectations. Real intimacy begins when people drop the ego and get honest with each other. It's when you stop performing and start listening, when you stop trying to impress and start trying to connect. That's where true sexual satisfaction lives, not in inches, but in presence and mutual understanding. When someone approaches sex from a place of curiosity rather than assumption, everything changes. They stop trying to prove something and start focusing on exploration. That's when sex becomes playful, adventurous, and deeply personal. A lot of the most pleasurable experiences don't even involve penetration at all. Oral sex, hands, toys, breath, words, all of these tools can offer intense satisfaction when used with care and creativity. Reducing the entire experience down to size is like judging a movie solely on its special effects. It might look impressive, but does it make you feel anything? Does it stay with you? Does it move you? That's what really matters. So much of the pressure around size comes from comparison. People comparing themselves to unrealistic representations or feeling the need to measure up against something they saw on a screen. But the truth is, no one's experience is defined by someone else's ideal. What makes sex great is unique to each connection, and that means letting go of the myths and tuning into the moment. When someone is confident, emotionally aware, and willing to listen and learn, they bring something to sex that no physical measurement can ever match. Every woman's body and preference is different, and that fact alone challenges so many assumptions people make about sex, pleasure, and anatomy. There's no universal standard for what feels good or what's comfortable during intimacy, and trying to generalize based on one experience, or even a few, is a recipe for misunderstanding. Vaginal shape, depth, sensitivity, and flexibility can vary significantly from one woman to the next. Some women have longer vaginal canals while others have shorter ones. Some are naturally more sensitive near the vaginal opening, and others may enjoy deeper penetration under the right conditions. The physical structure of the body plays a big role, but so does the emotional context, arousal level, trust, and past experiences. This is one of the main reasons why communication is so critical in intimate relationships. What one partner enjoyed in the past might not work for the next. And assuming that all women react the same way to the same kind of stimulation often leads to disappointment, discomfort, or even pain. It's important to remember that pleasure is deeply individual. It's influenced not just by anatomy, but by mood, stress levels, hormonal fluctuations, relationship dynamics, and even sleep and nutrition. A woman might enjoy a particular sensation one day and not care for it the next. That's not inconsistency, it's biology. The human body is alive, reactive, and constantly changing, and honoring that variability is essential for true connection. Some women prefer slow, shallow, and rhythmic movement, while others may enjoy a firmer, deeper approach. Some find internal stimulation less pleasurable than external stimulation altogether. There are those who climax from clitoral touch alone, those who prefer G-spot or blended stimulation, and those for whom orgasm is not even the primary goal of sex. Trying to apply a one-size-fits-all formula to such a wide range of experiences ignores the nuance and richness of human sexuality. What makes someone feel good can't be predicted by body shape, personality type, or sexual history. It can only be discovered through curiosity, attentiveness, and respect. Even pain tolerance and physical comfort during penetration can differ dramatically. One woman might find deep penetration uncomfortable even with full arousal, while another might be completely comfortable with it under the same conditions. Factors such as pelvic floor muscle tightness, past trauma, childbirth history, or medical conditions like endometriosis or vaginismus can significantly influence comfort levels. These aren't topics that often come up in casual conversations, but they matter. And unless someone takes the time to really understand their partner's unique needs and boundaries, those differences can lead to confusion or frustration. The variability in sensation also extends to things like preferred positions, duration of intimacy, foreplay styles, and emotional needs during sex. Some women thrive on a slow, sensual build-up, while others might enjoy more spontaneous or passionate encounters. There's no hierarchy to these preferences. One isn't better or more real than the other. What matters is that partners are tuned in to each other's cues and willing to learn and adapt. Being a good lover isn't about memorizing a routine. It's about being open to feedback and responding in real time to what your partner actually wants or needs in that moment. There's also a psychological component that can't be ignored. If a woman doesn't feel safe, desired, or emotionally present, her body might not respond the same way, even if the physical stimulation is right. Trust plays a huge role in relaxation, and relaxation is necessary for arousal and comfort. This is why emotional connection and safety often lead to more satisfying sexual experiences. It's not about being emotionally attached in every situation, but about creating a space where both people feel respected, heard, and cared for. That sense of mutual consideration allows for exploration and authenticity, and it's what creates the conditions for real pleasure. Even things like cycle timing can affect what feels good. Hormonal shifts throughout the month can change sensitivity, lubrication levels, and desire. During ovulation, some women may feel more aroused or open to deeper sensation, while during menstruation or the days leading up to it, their body might feel more tender or require a slower pace. These changes aren't flaws. They're natural and deserve to be acknowledged without shame or pressure. When someone understands that what works today might not work tomorrow, and is okay with that, they're stepping into a much healthier and more realistic approach to sex. It's also worth noting that preferences evolve over time. What felt good in someone's 20s might change in their 30s or 40s. Life experiences, body changes, and personal growth can all impact desire and response. Staying curious about your partner, even if you've been together for years, is one of the best ways to keep intimacy alive. When both people understand that every body is different, every moment is different, and every preference is valid, sex becomes less about performance and more about presence.